This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, Amara. I think they are muted.
All
That
right.
is just fine.
Okay. So I for sure believe that you people have. I'll try to be as fast as possible. So I'm looking at. I don't want us to go beyond 10, 10, 30. I don't know, but I just want us to be as let's be fast and at the same time let's not be too fast. So okay, HTML. We already know that HTML stands for the hypertext markup language, and is this standard language for the web. It's not a programming language; it's the standard language for the web. And then CSS is simply cascading styling sheet. I think something like that. And then I believe that we've also learned how to link our CSS into our web page by using this CSS URL, this link URL to link our CSS. And I believe also that some of these things, this doc type is telling us the HTML document, HTML, the HTML tag. We know what tags, inline, block elements, and all those things. Then language is English. Then all these meta tags. I believe that we should know what. I can't start going into all of them, but I believe that we should know what they all represent. And then we have the body tag. The body tag is where everything we are going to be showing on our web page. That's where everything is going to go. So I'm going to open with live server, so it gives me the opportunity to see what I'm doing, whatever I save in real excuse me, in real time. So okay, let's just go through. I don't okay, sorry. My live server has opened, and this is it. So this is my web page. Hello world. Okay. So following, let's just do a little introduction on some of these things that we are going to do. We are going to be fast, but not so fast. So it's a little introduction. Some of all these things I will not really have to go through them because of time and what we have, a lot of things that we have to cover. Okay. I have my slides now, but because I'm going from the beginning, I'll be using more of my VS Code. So we already know what CSS is. We know CSS, what it represents, and then what we use it to do. We simply use it to style the structure of the web. The HTML is the structure. Then CSS is just like giving it the design, and make it look good and make it look beautiful. So we have what we call the CSS syntax. Excuse me. CSS syntax. Let me go back to my page. I know it's somewhere here. Okay. You can see on this my PowerPoint slide. This is what we call the CSS syntax. In CSS, we have what we call the selector, and the selector could either be either be an element, class, a class, or an ID. Then we have the property, which we have the declaration, and the declaration consists of the property and the value. So the property here is color, and the value here is red. Okay, for example, let's go back to VS Code and quickly do a review. Okay, for example, let's go to our styling sheet. Remember, when we want to remove all these external, all the padding, I think somebody, when I asked that question, somebody answered excellent. I think so, Samuel. Want to remove the padding, give it 0 pixels. Want to give the margin 0 pixels. Mm-mm. There's something I'm
Right.
missing now,
Yeah,
but I'll remember it.
box
Hello?
sizing. Box sizing.
Someone trying to say something? Eh?
Box sizing. Box sizing.
What exactly? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So we go back to our page. You can see that our hello world has there's no more padding, and now our box size is now take shape. There's no padding, so whatever now padding and margin I give to it is what is going to assume. So now let's go to our CSS. Let's style this hello world. Remember I talked about selector. So the selector we're going to be using here is h1. H1 is an element, which is heading 1, or is it header? Heading 1, I think, is the largest. Then we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 to H6. So we want to give it, then we want to declare, we want to give it a property and a value. For example, color. We have it to be red, and we save. You can see that it has changed to the color of our text now has changed to red. We can decide to play with it again and give it let's say background color is going to color riot now. Okay, not black, for black, sorry, to show black and red to show. Sorry. So okay, you can see that our background color has also changed to black. So you can see what we can do with CSS. This is just basically giving it our own styling. We can decide to align our text to center so that our text to now, you can decide to align our text to the center. So our text will be in the center. You can find out that, okay, our hello world now has moved to the center. Okay. So these are some of the amazing things we could do with CSS and much more. So I'm moving over to selectors. So in CSS, we have I'll be using more of Visual Studio Code because I'm going back. So we have simple selectors, combinator selectors, studio class, studio elements, attribute selectors. So what we'll be looking at, major we're focusing on now, is our simple selectors, which are based on elements, ID, and class. So I believe that we know what. Sorry, not this. No. So let's go ahead. So I believe that we know what tags are. Like I said, when we were styling, this our H1, our heading 1, we use the H1 tag to style it. But as we go higher, initially this is how we are taught, but as we go higher in software development, we find out that sometimes we could have more than one H1 in a page. So imagine if we want to style differently for the H1, and then we now use H1 tag to excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. So we imagine we use H1 to style all that we are doing. Okay, sorry for the distraction. So, in case you get confused in any way, please just raise your hand so that you ask your questions as I'm going, so that you can be following up. Because I noticed that one thing about teaching is that if you're not getting a concept, people find it difficult to follow up. So just raise your hands and then you'll be unmuted and you learn. As I was saying, for example, now we have, let me duplicate this one. Okay, let's go to our, you can see that our hello world is duplicated. Now imagine a case where I don't want, I want all the, each of the heading ones to have different colors, and I've already used H1 tag now to do it. So that's when we what now brought about classes and IDs. So we'll take it gradually. Like I said, we have a simple selector. So the class ID, or should I start with class? Okay, sorry, the CSS ID selector. We use it to, uses the ID. Okay, just I'll be very analogical with this my explanation. Okay, for example, all of us, maybe at some point you have gone to a school, maybe, or even if you have not gone to a school, you have gone to somewhere that you registered and you had an ID, and you find out that that ID now is significant to only you has your picture, only you has your details, your biometrics, all those things, or sense your voter's card, anything. So just take it, just see it as that same nomenclature. So ID is CSS, simply you're giving a particular element its own, you know, own, like its own ID, its own identity. You're giving the element its own identity to carry it. Just like the way you have your, I have my voter's card and I can, only me can use it to vote. But in this case, with this my ID, giving it to any H1 tag, you find out that only that H1 tag will be styled properly. So let's get into an example. And uh, how do we use an ID? For example, this is, okay, IDs are examples of attributes. So let's, for example, let's give this ID, let's say a name. For example, we'll just give it the name header one, and then when we save, let's go and try it out. And then when we want to style headers, we want to style IDs, we use the hash. We use, excuse me, we use hash, the name we used, the ID hash, the ID. That is to signify an ID. For example, our ID here is header1, and then we use hash header1. So what we are telling the browser is, when you get to the styling sheet, wherever you see hash header1, apply it to the element that has header1, the header1 name. So for example, let me remove this because we have not gone to specificity, so we don't get confused. So let's give it a special, let's give it color, let's say blue, and then we save. You can see now in my browser that hello world is only the first one with the header1 ID that is only particular to each change to blue. Others are still black. So this is what IDs are used for, specifically for that element. You get, only for that element, is unique within the page. You select one unique element, one unique element. So let's briefly run through class. So the CSS class selects elements with a specific class attribute. Remember, I used the nomenclature of your student ID or your student voter's card that is unique to you. So now let me use another analogy. So imagine if you're in a class, maybe we are all in SS2B. So you find out that all of we are all in SS2B now. As we're in SS2B, we have in a class. That's our class, SS2B. So whenever you hear SS2B, if you belong to that class, everybody runs to answer to know why SS2B is being called. So in or imagine if okay, and then SS2B, or run here, you run and you go and answer. So is that same way in CSS, but in this case we are taking a group of elements that we want to have the same type of styling to give it its own, to give it like more of a generic styling. I don't know whether you are getting what I'm saying. Like in a class, like you're in a class. So we are saying everybody in this class now, we are going to wear purple uniform. We are going to You are going to wear this type of shoe. So this is what class simply means. That's like a very basic illustration. When you talk about ID, you're talking about a unique identity. Okay, I enter SS2B and I'm looking for Amara. You see that I'm not very much specific. It's only Amara Meto I'm looking for. But when I call SS2B, it simply means everybody in SS2B is needed. Every SS2B sweep the class. You find out that everybody, the whole members of the class, sweep the class. If I say Amara sweep the class, I am to sweep the class. So I have identified her uniquely. So this explanation now is what is going to help us now. So let's head back to our VS Code. So okay, these remaining header ones that are here, I would give them a class, each and every one of them. Sorry, I made a mistake now. So I want to give each and every one of them a class of let's say class name will be header 2. Okay. And when we want to style classes, now stylist sheet, we use dot this our class name. Our class name is header 2, and we now want to, you can see now that in our web page usually the first text is blue. Now we want to make the remaining 4 to be purple. What do? I just go here and give it color of purple. Okay, if we head back to you can see what happened. So you basically IDs and classes. I don't know any questions, any confusion. Please raise your hand. Let me know whether I'm carrying everybody along or there's an explanation I need to. Okay, people say I can continue. I forget that. I believe that okay, everybody is getting what I'm saying. Okay, okay. So I don't think any hand is up. I can't. I don't know. Okay, no problem. So let me go ahead. Somebody said slowly. The purple is not my best color. I don't know. It just came to my mind and I used it. So I think okay. So far is I think I've done justice to this explanation, because if you have this at the back of your mind, you find out that you would know all these things and then let me just tell you something. You don't need to cram all these things. Just know them. Just know it. Let me tell you. Sometimes you may need to go and browse to remember them. I will not advise you to start cramming all these things, because if you want to cram the things that you're going to cram, just like now, this box size, I couldn't even remember it, but I know it. But what I just needed to do was to browse, but somebody reminded me. So that's the thing with program. If you try to cram everything, you run mad, oh. You lose it. So just know it, so that whenever you don't remember it, you know what you're looking for, you know what you're going to go and browse and look for. Yeah. So this is an example of what I gave. And you know that this asterisk means universal. You know what it means? It's universal. You're selecting everything in the whole page. I believe the person before me explained that. Whenever you use asterisk, you're select. So anything I put here is going to affect the entire page. Okay? Yeah. So okay, let's go. Yeah. Class. Okay. Okay, I've universal selectors, grouping selectors. Okay. You know, let's go back and do another little thing here. I believe we know what divs are now. Div is like division. Div is like a group, like a division. Like this div, you know what divs, you know what inline elements and block elements. We know that div is like our block element, takes the space of the page, and you know all those things. Inline just takes the whatever whatever it contains, just takes that space, and that's it. But you know what div does. So let's do something. Let's see here. H2 will say my name. Okay. And then in this paragraph, I just write I am a software developer, sorry, with stacks in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Tailwind. Just ignore what I'm just filling up. React, JS. What else? GitHub. These are the stacks, and blah blah blah, and more. Okay, sorry. Let's see another paragraph. No, let me take another header. H3. H3. My best food. And let's say another paragraph would be what's my best food? Do I have a best food? I don't have. The best food is excuse me. My best food is, I don't know. I don't have any best food right now. Let's say rice, and I don't like beans, but I'm just trying beans here. So okay, we have 1, 2. Okay, now look at this H2. Look at this head. Sorry. Look at this H2. Want to style. Want to give. Okay, let's look at our browser. Okay, you can see my name and then my best food. So I want to give my name and my best food the same styling. I remember they are H2 and H3. So something we have what we call in CSS group selectors. So how do we want to give H2 and H3 the same styling? So in CSS, we simply write the element. It could be is a class, it could be an ID. Do you understand? But in this case, I'm using an element. So I can use the element class ID, whatever I want to use, comma H3. So this is how we group. Want to style 2 elements at the same time, because both of I want two of them to have the same, styling and all. So I want to give them text align center. I want to what do I want? What else do I want to do? I want to give it a border. Let's say 2 pixels. Sorry, 2 pixels. What else? 2 pieces. 2 pieces black. Let's see. There's something I'm missing. I guess I'm missing something. This. What am I missing? 2 pixels. What am I missing? What am I missing?
Solid. Is solid or
He said.
dotted? Solid or dotted?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, solid. We have dotted. What else? We have dotted, solid, dashed, double, and all that. Yeah, thank you. So you see, that's why it's not good to cram. Don't cram. Know it. It's okay. Can we see what happened? So I was able to group H2 and H3 together and give them the same styling without necessarily writing, them separate. I write H2 separately, then I write H3, then giving them separate styling. So you can see I was able to do them together. So this, I think, and then you can raise your hand, mute, and ask your question. So I know that we have been taught external, internal, and inline CSS. So let's go over it again. So we have external CSS. This styling sheet, external CSS is simply creating an external, just like the external is outside. You created an external, an external styling sheet, just like the way I created this style of CSS. Okay, and I created it, and then I was able to link it in the head tag using the link RL. This is an attribute. This real attribute is telling me that the relationship is a style sheet, and then they who can tell me what this href means?
Hypertext reference.
Huh? What did you
Hypertext
say?
reference. Hypertext reference.
Yeah. So we know it's an attribute. So it's simply indicating to us our destination of with the link where we are going to, where this thing is taking us to. So I'm happy that you know that already. Maybe let me not move fast, but I think that people are really sharp. So okay, externally, and then we use this to link our external sheets in our HTML page. So we have the internal CSS. Internal CSS is the CSS. Instead of us using this styling tag, sorry, instead of us using this creating an external sheet CSS file, oh my god, time, and then linking it with our link tag, we simply come to the head tag, sorry, and put in our style tag. Okay, let me copy everything from our external styling sheet. Control C, and then I paste it, and I've saved it. Let me clear here. Remember that I've cleared there. So you see that on our page it's still the same thing. So this is the same. This is internal. Internal is that we put our CSS in the head tag. So I use You can see the style tag. You can see the style tag, and then it still gives you the same result. But as you get complex complex codes and all these things will not to make everywhere look somehow. So I just use it for an example. So let me go back to our external style sheet. And for us to go back is Control Z. Control Z will take you back to where you were. Okay, I want to teach people something. Okay, as if I learning, let me teach people something. The way for example, I want to give a style, a class to an element. I want to give it a class or ID. This is how I do my own. For example, a div. And I want to give this div now a class named my name. I want to give it an ID named my school. This is how I make my things easy for me. I don't know. Did you see what I did, or should I go by it again? This is something that will just help you, before writing and all that. So this is just something that I just remember. I said, okay, let me just do it here. And that's it. So let's move ahead. And then we have the internal CSS. Sorry, internal. Inline CSS. Inline is just simply writing your CSS in the
Again,
same line. You said?
please come again with this class and ID I just did.
Okay, let me do what I did again. So, these are some of the emails and things that we learned, as we are coming up. So, for example, if I want to give this div a class name, let's say my name. This is what I'll do. I'll use div dot my name, the name of your class, and just click enter. So it will just automatically give that your div a class of my name. And for example, I want to give this div a class of my name, and then give it an ID of my school. I would use ID, sorry, I'll use hash. I will not use dot. I'll use hash. I'll use hash. And then I'll still click enter. You find out that, oh, this thing did nonsense, sorry. Even to put in text. Okay, you can find out that it gave it a class of my name and then an ID of my school. So this is what I was just trying to show you, because as you get, these are simple tricks that will help, make your journey easier. Okay, yeah. I will remember, if I want to still put text, that same way, but I have to remember it. It's not clicking yet, so once I remember it, I'll show it to. So a line, okay, for example, let me style this paragraph. I'm a software developer. I simply use the styler attribute. A line, you're saying in the same line, just for that line. Let's say, let's give the background color to be rubbish colors. Okay, you can see that I used, you may not see it clearly, but I used a line to style only that paragraph. I used a line to style only that paragraph. Only that paragraph. Only. So let's I want us to be a bit, there's any questions so far, confusion, this is like refresher
Yes.
before we move
Um,
ahead. Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, basically, I like the way you elaborate and make the examples more easier for us to understand the concepts. So the group element selector
Yeah.
Can you also do that for the class selector in the same
Yes.
format?
Okay. Yes. You know, I said that. Okay, let me use this header one. Control C. Let me remove this. You can use both elements. You can use class. Yes. I just need to still the same way. Sorry. Let me clear here. Let's go back to our browser. You see that everything is the same. Center. Our text has gone to the center. Then our border, we give it 2 pixels, solid and black. So yes, excuse me, you can use them. Said it can be depending on what you are doing. Yeah, I told you it could be excuse me. Ah God, this cough. So you could see that you could do your class for it. I don't know if it's clear. And also something I was supposed to explain. You know that an element can have more than one class. Are you aware? You know an element can have more than one class. Yes, an element can have. I can decide to give this element over. I can decide to give as much as long as up to 4 or 5 classes to one element, maybe based on what I'm doing. You know, I want this specific class to do this to this element. Okay, this one should be unique to it, or stuff like that. So this thing applies as we go higher. I don't want to really get into that, but just have it at the back of your mind. By the time we enter responsive design, all these things will start playing out. You know, when we are trying to make, the work, all things we are doing, we are just being a bit basic. So by the time we go into a real life project, find out that we'll see it a real, you will see it in a real project. Understand what I'm saying? But not just have it at the back of your mind that an element can have more than one class. Okay. Yes. Any other questions before we move ahead?
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Generally,
Please, can you be more louder? I can't hear you.
I joined a little bit late.
Or is it louder?
Can you
Sorry,
hear me?
not more louder.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yeah, so I joined a little bit late, and can you please help me elaborate the uses of the class? I know that the ID is used for specifying a specify an element for the use of CSS. But could you help me elaborate the use of the class exactly?
The use of
Class, the class.
okay class.
Yes. Hello? Hmm.
Hello? Am I the only one that cannot hear her?
Yeah, I can also hear.
Amara. She-
I think it might be network problem.
It might be a network issue.
Yeah,
I think her screen froze.
it's network, nothing else.
Let's just wait for a while before she comes up.
That is the best option.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, we're here.
Hello.
Yeah. I've spoken to her. I think she did not notice it.
I
But
did. I
she's,
did notice.
yes. But
What happened?
she's still here, don't worry, we're still in session.
Okay.
Okay. I don't even know where I was. I don't. Please, where was I? Where did you go? I don't know that I was cut off. I was just talking.
Where did you guys meet her?
Okay, we stop at CSS now.
Where is CSS?
CSS styling.
Yeah, somebody asked a question and I was trying to explain.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you've
was
not
trying
explained
to
at all.
know.
I think we stop at
Someone asked a question about class, the difference between class and
ID, right?
Yeah, I
yes.
know that the ID is used to give an element a tag for designing it in CSS, but use of the
I can't hear
CSS
you. Please. I
class.
can't hear you. Please, let's pick up.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I said that I know that the ID is used to give an element, a specific. I know the use of the ID, but I just want to know the use of the class.
Okay, class, right?
Yes, is it really necessary?
Okay, let me go over it again. You know, ID. When you talk about ID, when you say your student ID, it's only you that has your student ID, right?
Yes,
But when you talk about you are in a class of 2020, class of 2021, you are not the only one. You could be the only one. In some schools, you can see one person graduating, maybe secondary, primary. But in normal, I like using something things that are familiar with us to explain all these things so that it sticks. So, for example, those that graduated in class of 2020, I say, okay, on people's graduation, I want everybody to be in blue, either blue trouser or blue skirt, whatever. Whether you identify whatever you identify as being either a blue trouser or blue skirt. So if you find out that on the graduation day, everybody will be on blue. Why? Because it's a class. You understand? It's a class, and everybody, every element. Because when we are using class is not unique. It could be unique, or it could actually use one element. One element can have a unique class, but class gives us the opportunity for us to stretch.
Okay.
A group of elements, group of elements. Like I was explaining. Okay, for example, now, I want to, when we start building our real life, when we start working on a real life project, I want our page, every div, every section of our page to have a particular margin left and margin right, and padding left and padding right. All I just need to do is to give all of those sections a class, maybe a class name of padding or whatever. And then I go to my styling sheet and then give it the padding and the margin I need. Then it automatically applies. So class just gives us, it's an attribute that helps us to define a group of HTML elements so we can
Okay.
apply our unique styling. Do you
Okay, that means you
understand? Like this. Uh,
go ahead. I'm listening.
yeah, so just like this example I gave here now, this H1, I gave all of these three header ones, the class of header 2, header 2, header 2. And then I came to my stylist. Okay, I was using, this was an example I was using to explain this group stuff. So let me go back again. Control Z is for going back. Then Control Y is it undoing? I don't know the English then they speak. But Control Z and Control Y, you can play around with it. Then you use your correct English.
Redo.
So you can see that. Is that?
Redo and undo.
Yeah. Thank you. So you can see that this header 1, class, header 2, header 2, header 2. When I came here and I styled it, I gave it color purple. You find out that every element now with this header 2, with the class header 2, change to purple. So when you go to our browser, you can see now from this to this to this, all of them are now purple. So this is what we can use. This is what we can use.
Okay. So can we say that the class is used for a group of elements, then the ID is just for one particular element?
Yes, unique element. Yes, just
Okay,
leave it that way. Yes.
Thank you.
So yeah, no problem. So let's move over to comments. Sorry. So how we give comments in CSS is this is the way we do our comments in CSS. I think that you guys have touched that. This is how we comment in CSS. And then comments, we already know that the browser doesn't read it, so I could just write whatever I want to write. Sorry. Select all, right? Okay. Something I'm missing. No. This is for multi-line commenting, right? No, this is single. This is single. No, this is multi-line. This is multi. Same thing, John. Okay, this for comments. Comment. You already know that these things are not read by the browser. They are just there. For example, I could just write selectors. What else are we doing? Okay, class, ID, all these things. You don't see them on your browser. You can't see them there. Just like when you asterisk somewhere in your notes, only you understand what you are writing there. So this is just the same thing, sure. Same thing. So this is what generally comments. Have people treated colors? Because I want to skip it.
No.
You have,
No,
No, we've not.
Okay, people have not treated colors. Okay. Okay, CSS colors. Okay. Let me just add this thing here. So CSS colors. Yeah, CSS color. So we can use colors like I was using color purple, color blue, color those the normal ones we know. So this one's already predefined color names. Like we have purple, but that's not the only thing CSS has to offer to us. There are some sites you will go to, you'll be seeing. Oh my god. Okay, you go to some sites, you'll be seeing some color variation. For example, you be seeing red, but the red now is as if it's getting tinted as you're going down. You just see the way the colors are. You have color gradient, no? That yeah, there's color gradient, but that's not where I'm going to. But you find out that CSS doesn't just only use predefined colors like the way we have purple. We have what we use. We have RGB. RGB. Some of us that have ring light should know what this RGB is. We have the hex, we have the HSL, we have the RGBA, HSLA. I'll just be touching. Somebody wants to say something? I'll be touching two, then I'll expect people to go back and do your own review. You by yourself, you read up the rest so that we can make progress. Because of time, because of time. I want us to get somewhere. We are nowhere, we're a bit, we're back, We have to go, so we have to get somewhere. So okay, let's move. So RGB. Okay, the normal predefined colors, like the way we write color, we come and write blue color. Okay, can you see? Okay, just if you highlight on blue now, you can see something like RGB 00225. I'll explain that though. I'll explain that. You can see that you can even move. You can even vary the colors and everything will change. Has changed for me. Oh. I don't have to change, but it has changed. But let's move it. Let's move ahead. God, this coffee. So RGB for I was saying that people that have red light, you should know that or primary is it okay, primary colors are red, is it green and yellow, I mean that red, green and what? Are those colors that cannot be cut by mixing any other colors. I mean primary colors are red, green and yellow, right? Okay. So RGB is a color value which represents red, green, and blue. And let me clear here. I'm using this header one as example. Sorry. So it represents red, green, and blue, right? So parameter, each of these parameter, both the red, both the green, both the blue, they can vary like in an intensity, color intensity of 0 to 255. Yeah. So the variation from red, green, and blue is 0 to 255. For example, if I keep red on 0, I keep green 0, and then I leave blue at 255, you find out that blue that will come out as the color because there's no other there's no color intensity coming from red or green. But if I now decide to play with it, I say okay, let red be say 80, and then green, let me give green, let's say 125. Let's see what it will produce. But since blue is still the strongest, yeah, it didn't make. Well, let me reduce this. Let me say 190. Was blue will still it's not green will take over. Okay, you could see what's happening. You see, because of the color intensity of green is the highest here now. We are in the shade of green, but the red and the blue has affected the shade of green. It's not entirely green. There is a shade of green that we have here now. So this RGB gives us color intensities of 0 to 255, like I said, for red, green, and blue. So we have some like default colors. For example, if we want to set everything to be all red, all I just need to put red as 255, and then here is 0, here is 0, and that's just it. You find that everything will turn red. Then for green, I'll put green at 255. Remember, if you're getting confused, just stop me and ask your question. 255, and that's it. Everything turns to green. So if I want blue, if I want it to be blue, you can see that I'll just set every other thing to be 0. So for black, we have, like I said, default. For black, I just need to set everything to be 0. Okay, somebody should answer. Since the default mode for black is 000, what would be the default for white? Somebody should just try. If you've been following, it's just an attempt.
Default for white will be 255, 255, 255.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Okay. Correct. Good. You'll not even see the text because everything is white, but it's not the best. You'll not see the text. The white to just change everything, the color and all that. So CSS has advanced. There are some color wheels. We have color wheels. People just go to vary their color and just copy the color syntax and do their work. But it's just good for you to know the background knowledge of what's going on. So, like I said, there are standard color default that you could know, but on your own, you could play around it. You could set 60, 60, 60. Like 60, 60, 60 gives you shades of gray. 90, 90, 90, 120, 120. You could just play around this thing. So I said I'll be treating too because of time, and so that you go on your own and then stop. Sorry, study the rest by yourself. So the next thing I'll be treating is this RGBA. So RGBA simply stands for red, green, and blue. Red, green, blue, and alpha. So the difference between let me clear this. The difference between RGB and RGBA is the alpha. You can see still red, green, blue, and alpha. So this alpha parameter now is a number that varies between 0 to 1. It has to do with transparency. I don't know whether you have, forgive me, now I've reached opacity and all those stuff. So it has to do with transparency. For example, if I finish giving my all colors and I give it, remember I said from 0 to 1. Let's be practical about this thing. Let's not talk too much. Let's look at, you see this red, green, and blue. What is happening? Okay, I'm not going to give it. Let's give it something. Let's give it something. Sorry, 255, 90, and 70. Okay. I want you to play with this thing. Yeah, don't cram anything. Can you see how is sort of the transparency has reduced because I set it to 0.5. But let's set it to 1. This thing is just majorly practical, not too much talk. You learn well. Sorry, where you do more. So you can see how it's as if it's not blur. It's not transparent. It's not transparent at all. When you set it to 1, it's not transparent at all. But when you now start reducing it, for example, I reduced like when I reduced 0.5, I found out that you can something changed. Okay. You can see now that it's now transparent. It's getting transparent as if it's getting duller, like, and so this is what alpha simply does. It's a number between 0 to 1 that helps us to play with our colors, either leave them fully transparent and then not transparent at all. So that's actually the major difference. So this is something that you should play with. It's not hard. The next one is hex. I'll just talk about it, but for learning you go on your own and learn about it because of time and how far we are back, how far we are not ahead. What am I even saying? So hex is simply hexadecimal. You know what hexadecimal, Abby? You know what it is now. You know what hex stands for now. Hex is 6, right? Oh, you say hex like hexagon, all those things. Hex is 6, right? Oct is 8. You get, so X is 6, but in the case of hexadecimal is red, green, and blue. Ah, shit. Hex is 6. Yeah, it's 6. So it simply means we are varying the 6 in color integers. So it's red, RR, GG, and BB. So it's something that we have to look at on our own so that we can move. Okay, after X, we have the HSL, hue, saturation, and lightness. Maybe another time we'll touch it, but now let's move ahead. So I want to move over to something else. Want to touch CSS backgrounds. I don't know if people have touched background colors, background image, background repeat attachment.
No,
Okay. So let's move. Okay.
it's not.
So we'll be touching background colors, image, repeat, maybe attachment. You need to go and read like on your own. So background, when we talk about background in colors, so background colors simply background color is simply like what on our web page background to take. Just like this paragraph, now the background is brown. For example, let's say I want the entire body now. I want to give the entire body a background of, let's say, yellow or color riot. Sorry. The attribute, not attributes, the property is background color. And then the value will be yellow green. Colors do. Okay. So further that the entire background of our web page is now yellow green. So in essence, okay, let me look for this dump word. There, this lorem so something. Okay. Yeah. Only God knows this thing is. Where's the test? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. This is normal, the normal dummy test we take. Okay. Let me clear here. Should I clear? Let me just clear this one. Okay, let me clear from here down. Okay, example, I want to create 3 divs at the same time. All I need to do is to type div as there is 3, the number. You can see that the email application has already shown me that I'm creating 3 divs. And then I click enter. And that's just okay. Copy la paste. Okay. So let me just type copying and pasting my dummy tests. And so there's somewhere there that should do this explanation, some of these things that we're going to do now. Okay, sorry, let me separate them so they look neat. Sorry. So let's go to our browser. Let's see what we have. You can see our dummy tests. We'll be using it as we go on. I don't like this color, please. I've explained background color, so let me just remove it. I don't like it. It's making it look somehow. Sure. Okay, so background color. Then we have what we call background image. You can use predefined colors, or you use for you yourself, your own code, use RGB or RGBA, whatever you like. Play around with it. That's how you get better. This cough is really disturbing me. And when you're trying to hold cough and then it just, but I have subdued it, so that one is not even the problem. So background color, we have treated it. Okay, I want to introduce opacity. 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 I could remember one time it trended when I think a client told the developer to do a job for him at all. So the developer finished the job, did everything, hosted, domain name and everything. The man refused to pay him. The developer went to the code base, and set the opacity to keep reducing till till the client can no longer see his page to see his page. And it was for 7 days. He did it. He did that way for 7. It has to do with logic, sha. So he trended, and everybody was, it was funny at all. Everybody was laughing there, but it was not funny to the person who did it. So to who did develop the site for him. So opacity is a property that has to do with transparency, and opacity varies from 0 to 100 to 0 to 1. Sorry. Okay, it works with color. It works with color, so we have to still give this the background color. Let's use aqua. So let's give it an opacity of, let's say, 0.3. You understand what we're doing? Okay, can we see what happened? Can you see that it's like as if our site is fading? Then if I take it to 0.1, everything don't disappear. You see, everything is so low. If I now remove, I set it to 0.00 anyone. Further that you don't see anything again. Everything has disappeared. But if I set it back to 1, you see that everything is fully, you'll be able to see everything fully. So opacity is simply for transparency, and it varies from 0 to 1. So you can just try it out at your own end to understand the concept better, so we can move on. So any questions, you can ask your questions now. Since I want to look for that image to explain something. Food, okay. Ask your questions now, maybe. So no questions. It's good though. Or have I been disconnected again?
No, you are live.
Let me
You are
know.
live.
You are on.
So am I on track? No confusion. Okay, that's good. So okay, let's move over to the next property. We're looking at background image. So like background color, but in this case, we are using an image to set our background, and then we use the U, URL. So I really need to copy all these. Let me just copy the relative part. That is the part to where the stuff is. Sorry. Okay, can you see that we now have a, oh god, my text is not uniform, so let me clear it. Okay. Okay, see our text. You can see now that we have a background image, but you can see our image. You can go to the internet, any image at all you like. You can copy it, but it's just that our own is too loud, so everywhere is just covered. So let me delete something so that for now, let me comment them out. Sorry. There's something I'm missing.
Just use the greater than sign. Don't put the exclamation mark.
Okay,
Just use the greater than sign.
sorry. Yeah, hey, thank you. So I commented this stuff out, and even this one, so I should comment them out for now. Okay, so I've commented them out. So I want to use another div and post this my content I saw online. So it looks good. Okay, so our content is somewhere there. So let me see if I put it in the H, let's see H3, heading 3. It looks going to look bold and all. Okay, you can see it coming out to life. You can see that I used a background image, but you see how it's duplicating. We are going to treat it now. So I've actually set the background image and the background image, though it's repeated everywhere, I will correct that. So you can see that some web pages we go to, we find that there's a background image. So this is the property responsible for that. So now, since we have used our background image, you see how it's repeating everywhere. We don't want that because it's looking, we don't want it to repeat. So now the property that will correct this repetition is background repeat. Background repeat. Background repeat. We'll set it to no repeat, sorry. I find that, and you find out that it now only shows one image. So for our background image to stretch our entire page, we use the background size cover. Can you see, although it's now looking poor, the quality is now looking poor. Can you see that our background image has covered the entire page? Can decide to do some funny things here. Maybe with line CSS. I can give it a style. Let's font of, let's say, 1.5 rem. Don't worry, this things will be explained as we move on. Let's say text align will be center. And then what else? Let's give it padding up. Let's see 25 pixels. Let's see what. Okay, you can see that our text has somehow come down. Let me recreate it. Let me put that 125. It's 215, it's too much. But let's just see what it will look like. Okay, it's okay, it's fair. You can see that our image has covered everywhere. I just wanted to use that example. And I said fruit is the sweet, fleshy, edible part of a plant, and blah blah blah. So this is an example. For example, use a background image. The image is repeating. You use the background repeat, then you have one single image. Then for it to stretch and cover the entire screen, you use the, for example, background size cover. And then I want to make a comment here. For example, I did this in the body tag, so it's actually covering the body. For example, if you're not working on the body, just make sure you're using it in that particular element you are using it for. Don't stretch it out. Don't, if you're using it for maybe a particular div and all, you use this property within it. So that's what I wanted to say. Oh, our time is fast spent. Fast spent. Fast spent. Fast spent. Okay. So this background attachment, this is the last I will touch here. Background, and then I'll touch the shorthand. Background attachment. It simply specifies whether our background image will scroll or be fixed. For example, let's say fixed, because I put this thing in the body tag, you may not really understand and see, and there's nothing here, there's no content. But assuming there's a content here. Oh my god. Okay. If there was content beneath it, it will not, our image will not scroll. To be fixed because you are set it to fixed. But this one you have to go and read. You have to go and read more and practice. You have to read this background attachment. You have to read more and practice. Okay. What I want to touch now before we go, because time now, so I can entertain questions for the next, let's say, 10-15 minutes before we go. Let me check the number of people that are here. Okay, we still have 59. Okay, that's fair. Okay, 59. Okay, that's fair. Before, so, I know that it's getting late. Some of us who like to sleep. For those that are going to church and all. So, looking at this last property, background. Now, this background shorthand covers for, just like when we say shorthand. I don't know whether people will be confused now. Or should I just stop? Should I stop? Is it okay for today?
No, it's
I
not
think the
okay.
class is supposed to
Continue.
be 2 hours. It should be 30 to 10:30.
Eh?
I think the class is supposed to be for 2 hours.
We are supposed to have started 8:30. People did not come on time. And this is almost 10:30. And so I
So
should continue.
we are still within the time range.
Okay. I wanted to give, like, let's say 10. Okay, let me just continue. Yeah. I love the zeal, So we're looking at the background property. So, but this background property, it covers my like shorthand, just like when we typed border, we typed 2 pixels, 2 pixels solid black. That border now is shorthand. It's giving you the border size. It's giving you the border color, and it's also giving you the border. What's for solid? I'm trying to remember. So it's giving you 3 properties now, but it's giving you 3 things now, but in a shorter version. So, but then now this background is shorthand for us. For example, all these things now that we have written like this, we can just specify it as, sorry, background space cover and then fixed. I'll still explain though. Let me just remove all these things. Background shorthand. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. Okay. For example, now, so we have removed the background image, so there's nothing here again. So now this background shorthand will give you, can put our URL, sorry, as a food, that is our background image, food, sorry, dot jpg, yeah. And then we have specified our background image. After doing that, we save. Then we find out that our image it has duplicated itself, so we don't want that. Would give space in that same background because it's allowed for that. We'll say we want it to be no repeat. So there's no need of you writing background repeat, no repeat. You just write the value, and then when we save, we're still going to get the same thing. Then when we go back, we also saw why did it cover? We want it to cover. So we'll just write that same value. I hope I'm not missing anything, right? Cover. It's cover here. It's supposed to be here. Or is it supposed to be dependent? No, 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 no. Sorry, this background doesn't take for cover. Yeah. So I have to put background size cover. So you can still cover it. And then if you want for the attachment, we'll still put in that value for it. And then we'll still have the same result. Why is this still white? No, no,
It's
no, no,
fixed
no, no,
now.
no. No,
Fixed.
no, no.
You are supposed to put the attachment value, not the attachment.
Fixed.
I didn't get.
You're
I
supposed to
think you
write
are
fixed.
supposed to put the attachment value, not the attachment itself.
Oh, sorry. Fixed bar. Yes, sorry. I thank God that people are following me. Okay. So so this is it. This is just like shorthand. Instead of you write write background color, background image, or it also contains for background color here. Background color can be here too, but we don't need it because our image is already there. You will not even see it. You write background image, background color, your background image, your whether you want the image to repeat, and then the attachment. So this thing covers for everything, covers all these properties I've just mentioned. I don't know whether to look at background position. Hmm.
Sorry, please. Why is the cover not working with the shorthand? Background size cover.
Yeah, a good question because it's not. It does not accommodate it. It doesn't. It's not what I say. What language will I use? It doesn't cover for it. This cover is something. It's something like as I was teaching. I just remember that when you have something like this, I'm the one that imputed it, but it doesn't cover. This background now doesn't cover for it. What it covers for is what it covers for. Let me just speak and this my English teacher. The color, background image, background repeats, and attachment, and then position. So that's what the that's what it strictly covers for sure. Yeah, smart question. So this background position, mm, uh, I don't know whether to go through it. I just leave it for now. Maybe if it comes up, I still teach. Okay, I think people have an idea of borders. We still have 10 minutes. Maybe in the next 5 minutes we'll be rounding off and then round up sorry and then we'll now I'll now give opportunity for questions. So we have borders. You know what borders are now? Like when you say you have a drawing borderline. Remember when we are doing the borderline. We'll be drawing as if we know what we are doing. So okay, okay, border. You know what borders are now? Borders are just uh huh. Okay. Now I'll be needing this thing I did here. I'll be commenting on this my lovely explanation I just put up here. Ah, Okay. So now we are commenting this one up. Okay, good. Borders. Why is this one still straight? Okay, because I put it in borders, so I have to still comment this one out. Okay, so we have three divs that I copied dummy text to explain something. So let's okay. The only three divs, you know what borders are? Simply borders are borders. Borders are borders. Borders. Let me state the real thing, please. So CSS border, their property that allows specify the style, width, and color of an element. So we have the border style. Ahead, that's what I was trying to remember. So we have the border style. Can choose what our border, whether our border will be dotted, double, solid. It is dotted. You can see now within all these our tests. Let me give this to the partner. Padding top of, let's say, 10 pixels. I just want to make it look organized. No, it still looks scattered. Okay, so you can see that our borders here, because of they are too close to each other, everything is just yaga 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 yaga. Let me give it padding button. Eh, okay, I beg, forget that one. So you can see that our what I'm supposed to do was magic. So sorry. You can see that our border, look at our divs, all the borders now are dotted, but not even for itself. So that's for border style. You can use dash and dash. Change it to dash. I mean I dashed. I mean a bit. Dashed, yes. Dash. So you can see it's changing, from dot to dash. You can use solid, the one that we're very conversant with. Solid. Okay, you see solid. This is the one we're very conversant with. Yeah. Okay. So we have double these things you can play with. Just go ahead and browse about that. So okay, so the next thing we're going to be looking at is we are looking at borders soon. But we have looked at the border style. Let's say that we want to give our borders width. This is our border now. We want it to have a particular width. You know what width is now? You say border width of, let's say, width. Oh well, let's say 5 pixels. Oh my god, it's gonna look. Oh, you see how thick everywhere is, so thick. So let's use one. Let's use one. Well, it's a border width. You want to give it a width, thickness. That's what do it. Thickness, so thick, so thick. Let's use 1 pixels. 1 pixel rather. Okay, you can see that it's normal now. So this is what border width. This is still other border. Then we have a we can actually play around with. I don't know how to give it. This thing now will confuse. It's not supposed to confuse. No, it's not supposed to confuse. We have oh my god, I see time. We have top right, bottom left. But we have to round up now. We have to round up now. We have 4 more minutes. I want to take questions. Should I let me just round up. Let me just finish this concept. What I was trying to show you people. So in CSS we have shorthand for designing different size. We have now your page. Look at your page. Look at this div now. This is top, this is bottom, this is left, and this is right, right? Yeah, you can see my top, bottom, left, and then right. Example, if I want to give each and every side a different width, let's say top, it will be top, bottom. Now the standard of styling, you can either style together top, bottom, and then left, wait, top, bottom, wait, top, right, top.
Or top right, bottom left.
Okay, top, right, bottom, left. And then there's another standard of using just two, which is top, right, bottom, left. Or is it top, bottom, left,
Top,
right?
bottom, left, right.
Okay, top, bottom. Yeah, thank you. So okay, for example, let's just give top, right, bottom, left. We just give different widths to all our different sizes. You can see that our left is different from our right. Our top and bottom is they are different. Did I use any the same thing? Okay. But you may not really notice because they are sort of close, like 4 pixels, 5, 3. But you can actually do it as you like. Play around all these things. They will just help you. The next thing we'll cover before I round up is border color. We can decide to change our border color to anything we like. Let me use turquoise just for an example, so you can see our border color has changed. You can use
Please, I have a
any.
question now.
Yeah, ask your
Okay,
question.
my question now is, let's let's assume you want to separate the border into two, like the header will be different and the div will be different. How can you do that?
I come again. I didn't get your question.
The border now,
Yeah,
if you watch to the browser, the border is
yeah.
join. Let's assume you want to separate into two, like the header to be different and the div also to be different. Is that possible?
Okay, you mean like the divs? I mean all the divs. You want them to be individual.
Yeah, separate border.
Okay. Okay, this is what you mean by.
Yes.
Yeah, no problem. So it's margin I used, it was because I was looking somehow. I know some people would have been confused. But thank you for taking the bold step of asking. So we have treated border colors. Let's round up so we can all go. You can take questions, or because there'll be an assignment. So if you don't ask your questions, I will not the assignment there. As maybe my voice, you think that this I will not. I'll ask you. I will give you an assignment that I know that you will not be able to do on your own, to make you to go browse, ask questions, because I know that
I
that's the
have a
only way you.
question.
Yeah, ask.
All right. As regard this div, can we have IDs and class still inside div?
Eh?
And when can we have ID and class inside div? What I mean is
Yes.
now you are designing for div in your CSS sheet.
Yeah.
So, but then the div is affecting all the three dummy texts that you used. So
Yeah.
can we have class and IDs inside div?
Yes, I can give each and every one of, like I even said, I can give each and every one of these divs a unique, each of them unique IDs. Then I'll now use, let me make it like exemplary so you understand what I'm saying. So over here now, I can just give each and every one of these divs a unique div. Let's say an ID. I'll give it div 1. ID. This one will be div 2. The ID will now be div 3. Sorry. Yeah. And I can decide to give all this styling here. I think that's for the div. Let's give it a class. Each and every one of them a class of div. Sorry. If you hold your Alt key, you can be able to select multiple lines to write on them. I don't make mistakes. Once you hold your Alt key, you can select multiple lines to write. So you can see, I'm giving all of them, let's say, class of div, and I've saved. All I just need to come here and do is signify that is a class. It will still give us the same result. Okay, Control save and let's save. It will still give us the same result. So you can, in fact, this div now, I can give each and every one of these div like multiple class names, like class. I could just go ahead and on give the based on what I want to do, what I want to achieve. Do you understand? Yeah. Based on what I want to achieve.
All right. But then I got the explanation. But then can we just erase away the class, then just work on div 1, which is the ID inside the div?
I didn't get you.
All right. I just want you to work on the first
Okay,
ID,
one.
div 1. Yes, still
Okay, no
under the
problem.
div.
Yeah, okay. Let's work on the one. Sorry. Let's work on the one. The one. What should we do to it? Okay, let me give it a font.
Add padding.
Why is my font not showing? Let me give it a font family. Can you see what happened for div 1? Can we see what happened? Hello?
Yeah, we're with you.
Yeah,
You
can you
can
see
hear
what
you.
happened? You
Yeah.
can see that I've actually styled this element alone. Whereas there's a class that has some properties and values that is still covering generally. I gave it a font. Let me change the font weight to bold so that it can be more elaborate to explain what I'm saying. Let's see, let's leave it at 500. Didn't come out. Nah. Okay, can you see what happened?
All right.
So there's a generic class styling, but I'm still able to style. If I want to style each and every one of these divs separately, for example, div two. Let's say font will be font size. Font. Let's say it's not too much. Font size. Okay. Can you see?
Okay.
Can you see? Can you see what's going on? If I go back to the third div, that somebody is sharing. So font size is 3 rem. You can find I can see now. You can see now. I was able to like specify different font sizes for the three divs, whereas there's still a generic class styling here. This dot div that has some style that affected all of them at the same time. So you see the uniqueness. I can use I can still give this any of the divs a class and style only that div for it, but it won't work with ID. So I think tag is against us. So now take questions so that we can be able to, help us do our assignments and move ahead. Our number has dropped. I think 12 people have left. So let's
Mara,
yeah.
hello? You can hear me,
Yeah,
right?
I'm here. I can hear you.
Yeah, we actually have to start rounding up, actually. It's 10:30.
Yeah, I'm taking questions now.
Yeah, I'm just saying so we can just limit
Yes,
the amount
I'm
of
taking
people that are
questions.
raising their hands. You understand?
Yeah.
If
I
anyone,
can't see them.
okay, we have one person. I'm Lucky. Lucky, you can speak. You're unmuted.
Okay. Hi. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Okay. So I have like a few questions. Um,
Okay.
I kind of encountered a problem when I was doing my assignments. If you have inline CSS, like you did a little bit of CSS in your head section in your HTML code, and then you did external CSS, like a separate CSS sheets, and you link
Yes.
them with the external CSS overrides. Because I think one of my CSS didn't work. I had to cancel the hosting. So I don't understand. Is it that it's overrides or
The problem with not a problem, but something we have in CSS, we have something we call specificity. You know, yeah, like say something about overriding. Inline will override external and override internal when it comes to styling because you are very very specific. You went into the specific element and styled with a line. So a line, if you have a line and then there's an external sheet, if there are two styling now for the browser to choose, the browser will take a line CSS. So I guess that's why you're having problems. So what you should do
oh
first of all is either you style with a line, maybe to get the concept. Then when you're done, you can now move whatever you did to next. I don't know what the assignment is though. I'm just saying though.
okay.
If you want to
Well,
move,
I think I
you can move.
I get what you said. Okay, thank you. And then I still have a little bit of confusion with this div ID and class. Is it like we can use the ID and the class interchangeably? Or like, is there a specific time to use ID and then there is another time to use class?
Okay, like I said, I use an analogy when I was explaining ID. ID is specifically an ID is just identity. You understand? Like your school ID, your
Okay.
matric number is only for you.
Oh,
So when you use an ID, is basically unique to that element. That style is unique to that element. But for
okay.
when we move to class card is like group of elements. The
Oh,
styling, just like when we use this div, when we use these three divs, we gave
okay.
three of them the same class and div, and then we still came here and styled div dot div. Then we still gave each and every one of them different IDs, div one, div two, div three, and still
Okay.
styled them. And this styling now, all of them are unique to each and every one of those divs.
Oh, I think I get it now. Thank
Yeah,
you. And then
yeah. Do you have
the
any?
last one is this background repeats, no repeats and fixed. Well, I'm trying to do it here, but I don't think I'm getting the exact thing you get. What's the no repeat and fixed and the URL for? Okay, the URL is actually the name of the image, but then the background repeats, no repeat fixed. I don't know. I don't understand it totally, and it's not actually working for me.
Okay, okay. You could use the normal shorthand. It's
Mm-hmm.
either background is like sorry, background is the shorthand. You can use the normal properties. This URL is
Okay.
for the background image. Then this no
Okay.
repeat is for background repeat. Because initially, remember when we put our image, the image was just duplicating itself to be able to
Okay.
cover
Yeah.
the screen. So we
Mm-hmm.
now use background repeat and then use the value no repeat, the shorthand background to remove the duplicate. So the image will not repeat itself.
Okay. I think I get it now. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So any more questions before we round up? So go ahead and play with it. Learn. There's YouTube, there's Google. Help yourself in any way because time is we are 10:44. We have
Please,
so I don't think
please
there's
let me ask
any.
a
I
question.
think we
It's
can just
just
go with Udeme, Daniel, and Ewulu Kenechukwu. Just those two people, then we just close for today. So,
Okay.
Udeme, please just try and make your question very brief so we can all round up as soon as possible.
okay. My question is just on universal selector and the specificity. So, those default selectors inside the universal selector. I don't know if I'm making sense. If you are doing your individual styling, is it going to what you are styling? Is it going to affect what is inside the universal selector, or can something that is a universal selector be? Is it like constant? Whatever you are styling is not going to affect those things, like padding, margin, and box size.
Okay. Okay. I think I asked a question. Somebody was able to answer. So this universal selector, remember I said this asterisk, it represents universal selector. It's just like when you call a tag. You understand? But this one is universal. It's going to affect everything in the web page. Why we put padding to border box is because on most browsers, it's not just Chrome that we have. For example, I use Firefox, I use Opera Mini, I still have Chrome. Some people use UC browsers, some people use different Edge, Microsoft Edge. People use different browsers to browse. So if you don't set it to 0 and then use your own, then now use your own padding and margin. Those already fixed pattern and margin those browsers are going to reshape your page to look different. Do you understand? So we use this universal selector to remove all the paddings and margins when the page loads, and then we now use our own. and then our box sizing and use our box sizing as border box. I don't know that you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah. It's okay. The next person.
Okay, the next person was Kenechuku, I think. Yeah, Kenechuku, sorry, I mistakenly muted you. Give me a second. Yeah, you can speak now.
Okay. Good evening.
Kosi and Isaiah, please mute your mics. Kosi, so Anthony, Isaiah. You can mute your mic.
Okay. Good evening, ma. Thank you
Okay,
for
good
the
evening.
class. I really enjoyed the class. I didn't even know that time was going. Thank you for the class. Thank you
Yeah,
very
no
much. God
problem.
bless. Mine is not really a question. It's based on the assignment that they gave us, and is I'm pleading to Saidoze if I can resend mine because I didn't really use the bits ly he said we should use to shorten our code. So and I sent my own just like that. I don't know if whether I can shorten it then send it back again or
Okay, let me answer your question because I think you asked this on the Discord channel, but
yes.
and did I reply?
No.
So the thing is that I actually read it, but I was I was coming back from I was at the supermarket when I read it, so I couldn't reply then. So the thing is that if you look at the announcement when I put it on the announcement channel, I said that you should read the instructions very, very carefully. And I said the same thing on the Discord channel. That is the one without the announcement. That is the web development channel. So after saying that, because I knew that some people will falter. Now, let me explain why I asked you guys to do those things for two reasons. Because we are collecting this data and the links you guys send without shortening the URL are very, very long. So it distorts the way the spreadsheet is. That is one. And two, we are trying to make you guys familiar with other things, other tools that are outside scope of what you are learning. I don't know if you understand. Like I had someone to come and ask me how to upload pictures to how to upload files to Google Drive. And I'm like, bro, we can't feed you everything. You have to go and do research yourself. You can ask Amara. These are one of the things you have to learn as a developer, is that you have to keep on researching and researching and researching. You understand? So I want you guys to know we are doing this thing because of we want you guys to learn, and we also want to and we also want you guys to want to expose you to as many things as possible. So the issue with the submission now is that the way the form is structured, you can't submit twice. So even if I want you to submit that, you can't submit it. You can't submit it the second time. There's no offer to submit it the second time. I don't know if you understand. You can only make one entry. You get. So, but the thing is that anybody that does not shorten their link just minus 0.5 mark. That is minus half. It's not too much of it. And I'm sure you get 10/10. You get. So don't bother yourself. Highest, you get 9.5. So anybody that made their links without submitting, without shortening their link, either of them, if it's 2, that is 1 mark. If it's 1, that is 0.5 mark that has gone. So it's just
Please now I'm begging. The 0.5 is too much, please.
it's
Maybe
0.5. You make it 0.3.
I'm taking my correction, please.
Don't worry. It's not like that bad. Don't worry. Don't disturb yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do very well. Don't bother about any other thing.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I think in the absence of any other things to say,
I have a question.
Isaiah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Is the question important?
Yeah, it's very short one. According to relating to the lecture just concluded, it's just a very simple question.
All right, now, Amara, can we do one more question?
Okay, no problem. Let's go ahead.
Let's just take one more question so we can dismiss.
All right. You were talking about respecting universal data, like the border and the rest of them like that, before starting your work. I want to ask, you only listed 3. Are those the only 3 that are very important for now? We still have other ones that we have to reset before starting our work.
These 3 are like the major ones that
Okay.
would affect your work. Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So Isaiah, are you done with your question?
yeah, it's done. I've answered it.
Okay, you answer. Okay, I was looking at something, so I didn't get that. So I think in the absence of any of these other things, we have to adjourn or dismiss. Adjourn or dismiss. I don't know what is the right grammar, but so anyone is fine. So first of
Yeah.
all, I want to give serious appreciation to Amara. Amara, thank you so much for conducting this on short notice. And not just conducting it, you conducted it very, very beautifully. I don't think I would have done better than what you did. Thank you. So I don't know if you have like an assignment for them, which I can pass on to them later.
Yes, I will. I will. I will.
Okay,
I would. I've talked about that.
no problem.
They
Then
will
we'll
have to
discuss
go
about
and search to be able to do the assignment.
that. Okay, no, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. So I want to say a big thank you to Amara. I want to say a big thank you to the 29 people that came here early. The rest of them that did not come on time, don't. And if I catch you in my DM, ask me anything on Discord, I will air you. I'm going to air you people. The 29 people that came early, thank you. You guys are my real G's. What is that song that Spyro sang? That will be my G for life. Anytime I listen to that song, I'm thinking of the 29 people that came early. So the rest of you that did not come early, if you want to be my real G, please be coming early for our meetings. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much, Amara. Thank you. I'm really, really grateful that you volunteered to do this.
Okay.
And the rest of us that stayed to the end, right
Okay.
from
No problem.
8:30, I'm really grateful and I wish you all the best. So we have to head back to our bed to go and sleep and assimilate. Is assimilate the right English? Assimilate or whatever grammar it is to everything that we have learned. So thank you very much. I'm seeing somebody say beautiful Amara. People should not shoot shot at your facilitator. Stay one place and focus on your academics. Focus on what you are learning. Focus on web development so you leave trenches. All right, now everybody should take care. Goodbye, good night. Wishing you all the best. To my fellow Man City fans, well done. Congrats in advance. You are winning the Champions League. All right, now everyone, bye. Good night.